Guests, please stand. Their Excellencies, the Right Honourable Dame Cindy Kello, Governor-General of New Zealand, and Dr. Richard Davis.
Hare mai rā, te karango te rānei e. Hare mai, hare mai, hare mai rā. Hare mai rā I runga I te karango te kahurangi nei e. Nau mai, hare mai, hakatau mai rā.
He honore he kororia he mau ngā rongo ki runga ki te mato o te whenua. He whakaaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Arohaina ngā teina me ngā tuakana e noho nei I rungi te whakaaro putahi. Pai mai.
Pai mai.
Please be seated. Kia ora tātou katoa, nau mai hara mai ki te whare kāwana I a Otāmaki Makaurau. Distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to Government House for today's investiture ceremony. I'd like to specifically acknowledge Mr. Michael Webster, Secretary of Cabinet and Clerk of the Executive Council, Mr. Joe Harawira, Kaumātua, Mrs. Rānui Ngārimu Kuia. Hosting investiture ceremonies is one of the most important duties that I perform on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen of New Zealand. I am delighted to bring together such an extraordinary group of New Zealanders. You have each brought pride and a greater sense of well-being to Aotearoa New Zealand through your outstanding achievements and your service to our communities. On behalf of all New Zealanders, I extend my sincerest thanks to you for your contributions. After each recipient is honoured, I invite you all to join with me in congratulating them. Mr. Ward Kamo will now summon the recipients and read their citations.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Knight Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Sir Chris Farrelly, o Whangarei, for services to health and the community. Sir Chris Farrelly was founding CEO of the primary health organisation, PHO, Manaia Health in Whangarei from 2003 to 2016 and recently retired after 5 years as Auckland City Missioner. As Auckland City Missioner, Sir Chris led the development of the soon-to-be-opened Home Ground, an innovative, purpose-built healing facility to stand against homelessness, hunger, poor health, and access to healthcare. Prior to his work at the mission, he had long service in health to Te Tokerau. Under his leadership, Manaia PHO achieved a significant Te Tiriti-based partnership between Māori health providers, local hapu, and general practitioners. Recognising the social determinants of poor health and the role of social service agencies in health improvement, he was part of the formation of the Northland Intersectoral Forum and was instrumental in initiating discussions with Fonterra that led to the establishment of the Milk in Schools program. He was a founding member and chair of the Te Tai Tokerau Healthy Homes project, which has now insulated more than 12,000 homes and helped establish 2 one-stop shop youth initiatives. Sir Chris was an executive leadership team member of the Northern DHB, serving in a range of health leadership roles between 1991 and 2003, including HIV/AIDS support and actively campaigning against discrimination on the grounds of health status, leading up to the Human Rights Act of 1993. Sir Chris Farrelly, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Dr. Benjamin Pittman of Hikurangi, for services to Māori and arts. Dr. Benjamin Pittman is Chair of Creative Northland and Secretary of Wairau Māori Art Gallery Charitable Trust Board. He plays a key role with the Hundavasa Arts Centre with Wairau Māori Art Gallery Project Control Group and Project Action Team. He was a Hairawa Māori Advisory Board member for Auckland Art Gallery, Treasurer of Te Tai Tokerau District Māori Council and a New Zealand Māori Council member. He was Secretary of Akirama Marae and a member of its Business Development Unit. He is Chairman of the Pauwhenua o Tiakiriri Kukupa Trust Board, Te Parahau ki tae. He developed a Māori and Pacific Island cultural reclamation program for institutions in Australia. Dr. Pittman has been a Treaty of Waitangi Claims team member for Te Parahau and Ngāti Hau. Dr. Benjamin Pittman, please come forward. Mr. Jim Tucker of New Plymouth for services to journalism. Jim Tucker has contributed to journalism in New Zealand since 1965. He brought to light the pollution of the Taranaki rivers in an award-winning series. As editor of the Auckland Star, he led a team to create the Sunday Star, now Sunday Star Times. He was the head of journalism schools at Auckland University of Technology, Western Institute of Technology and Whitireia. He was an executive director of the New Zealand Journalists Training Organisation and a media commentator and media awards judge for several decades. He helped organise the Global Intermedia Dialogue, a Norwegian-Indonesian worldwide initiative. He has written, edited and or published 9 journalism books. Mr. Tucker is an assessor for the Public Interest Journalism Fund and launched the Kiwi Journalists Association Facebook group, which now has 3,300 members. Mr. Jim Tucker, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Ms. Jane Arnott of Taupo for services to Pacific communities and conservation advocacy. Jane Arnott founded New Zealand's first cross-cultural consultancy representing Pacific Island communities. She's worked with companies, government departments, councils and the health sector to raise awareness of the importance of communicating and establishing relationships with Pacific peoples using their native languages. Her work led to Auckland Council and South Auckland Health undertaking their first branded campaigns in Tongan, Samoan, Niuean and Cook Island Māori. As Executive Director of the New Zealand National Parks and Conservation Trust, she introduced corporate sponsorship to endangered species, creating black tie gala events and branded campaigns. Ms Arnott continued her work for endangered takahe as co-founder of the New Zealand Native Species Foundation. Ms Jane Arnott, please come forward. Mr. Ken Laurent of Whakatane for services to wildlife conservation. Well, Ken Laurent volunteers with Whakatane Kiwi Trust as an education guide, leading Kiwi Tracker walks in Ohope Scenic Reserve. He has helped train new education guides, was education volunteer team leader, and chairs the team leaders group. He assists his wife, Sue, a qualified Kiwi practitioner, with Kiwi monitoring and health check duties. He is operations coordinator, trustee, and an executive team member of the Manawahe Kōkako Trust, which protects a kōkako habitat on privately owned land. He was a trustee of Halo Whakatane, Unfenced Sanctuary Project, and Mr. Laurent helped a volunteer team locate 40 North Island robins, the Ohope Scenic Reserve, in 2014. Mr. Ken Laurent, please come forward. Mrs. Sue Laurent of Whakatane for services to wildlife conservation. Sue Laurent volunteers with the Whakatane Kiwi Trust as Kiwi monitoring team leader, responsible for overseeing the daily signal monitoring of kiwi and maintaining her team's capability. She is a qualified Kiwi practitioner and is involved in conducting monthly checks for kiwi chicks and annual checks for adult male kiwi. She volunteers with the Manawahe Kōkako Trust, which protects a kōkako habitat on privately owned land. She is part of the Trust's executive team and has helped with annual census monitoring, nest monitoring, and translocation of birds. Mrs. Laurent helped a volunteer team translocate 40 North Island robins to Ohope Scenic Reserve in 2014. Mrs. Sue Laurent, please come forward. Mrs. Marjorie Pita of Kamo for services to music. Marjorie Pita was an original band member of the Māori Volcanics Show Band, established in 1964, who went on to perform Māori and Polynesian song and dance in 53 countries over 40 years. She was also a member of the Polynesian Trio and was integral to both bands in organising and booking tours. The Māori Volcanics Show Band were part of the Unsung Heroes television series for their contribution to the music industry in New Zealand. Mrs. Pita has been performing with the band at aged care facilities and fundraiser events for entertainers and musician funerals and can sing in several languages. Mrs. Marjorie Pita, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the Queen's Service Medal, Mrs. Ingi Tusini Rex of Auckland for services to the Niue community. Ingi Tusini Rex is a long-standing member of the Tangaroa Niue group and the Niue community. Alongside her family, she established the Tangaroa College Niue group, focusing on culture, language and youth development. She is a judge and advisor for the Niue stage at Polynesian Festival. She was a community support worker with Kids First. She has been a valued member of Pacific Wind Pacific, the Pacific focal point in global and regional migration. She has contributed to Niue song, dance and traditions and teaching communities in Auckland, particularly Otara. Mrs. Tusini Rex and her family wrote the popular Niuean song, Sipaio. Mrs. Ingi Tusini Rex, please come forward. Whakauelahi. Your Excellency, the investiture has concluded.
New Zealand's honours system is our highest public affirmation of outstanding individual achievement. It reinforces those things that make our society better: service, manaakitanga, and the pursuit of excellence. To our recipients, it has been a privilege to hear your stories. You have each used your talents and abilities to improve the lives of fellow New Zealanders. In doing so, you embody the spirit of the whakatauki, whaia te iti kahurangi, ki te tū ohu koe me he maunga teitei. Seek the treasure that you value most dearly. If you bow your head, let it be to a lofty mountain. I urge recipients to wear your insignia with pride at every opportunity, knowing that you inspire others by your example. On behalf of the Queen of New Zealand and all New Zealanders, I congratulate you on your achievements, and I thank you again for your service to our country. And I do want to acknowledge the beautiful song that was sung, the Niuean song. Thank you for that. And just before I finish, a sneaky little thing. I have the honour of being the Commander-in-Chief for the Defence Force of New Zealand, and today we have an honorary aide, Lieutenant Colonel Grant Scobie, who is here with us, who I happen to know is turning 40 today. So thank you, and in honour of your birthday, you will see on the back of your program, everyone, the words to the national anthem in Te Reo Māori and in English. I now invite you to stand with me and to sing the national anthem.